Okay, so it is an NX. That's too bad. So, in many ways, this is equivalent to a war on territory. It looks like I'm going to lose this vest territory. So, I'll go back here. I should still be able to get one more population. Cruel is going to get these three, which is nice, but not going to give you more than the one population is going to get anyway. Um, it does mean that if I do go um, for James Cook, it's going to be worth like 6 or 7 less point, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So, not too much I could do about it. Honestly, probably better than War on Territory. That would have been another token, which could have been difficult to deal with. And you can't use these. You can't leverage these much. Like if this was a plunder for 5, putting him at 12, that means he gets the Transcontinental Railroad this turn, and he keeps and he's the to snowball. I am still baffled that Henry Merivale gave him this trade agreement. I know it's too late to whine about it, but um, he's way ahead, so why give him a pact? Okay, Annex. I think that's the list of my worries right now, so that's good. Doing some thinking between here and there, um, this aggression annex is practically equivalent to war on territory, only easier. So it might actually be a bit more painful than I initially thought. Anyhow, the colony is gone, and now Cruel is upgrading a lab twice, so I think he's leading on science now. It's in a meager 4. Gets a pop, picks up coal, and organized religion, and builds one piece of Transcontinental Railroad. No investments in military, which makes me think that he doesn't have any follow-ups on that. Henry Merivale, no event, increases population, gets architecture, builds a theater, putting him at 10 points. However, many of them are Michelangelo, and gets an efficient upgrade and a scientific method. And then Pink Ranger seeds an event, reveals prosperity, which is pretty nice, gives me 3 food, and then gets scientific method as well. Researches it, upgrades twice, so he's the only one with any decent science right now, and increases his population. Oh, and gets conquistadors, which was an interesting choice given that by his next turn, Genghis Khan is gonna be gone. So I am next. I don't have an event to seed. I don't think I originally thought I might use this trade routes agreement to get a pop, but I don't need to. So one thing that has to happen this turn is getting this tech, putting me at 14, and then the question what I want to do ahead of it. So looking at the standings, honestly, no one is doing amazingly. Cruel and Pink Ranger got some science. Me and Pink Ranger are still ahead on production. Everyone's about the same on food, except that Henry Merivale is floating out quite a bit because of prosperity. And likewise here, I'm behind on military actions, which has been pretty painful. And civil actions, I'm tied with Henry Merivale. But Cruel and Pink Ranger only has 6. It's not like they have 7 or 8. For points production, once this age ends, then Michelangelo is going to go away and taking 5 points a turn with him. So right now, as far as points are concerned, I'm in a reasonable spot. Furthermore, looking at the deck, I don't know what this is. It could be the last territory. Seems unlikely though. Looking at the other 5 events, 2 of them are territories which I seeded, and both of these could be quite influential, and I think that I'm ahead on getting them. So I think my strategy going forward is going to be to maximize on points. I think that my infrastructure is practically non-existent, and it seems to me like the easiest way to do that would be to pick up James Cook. Cook is going to give me 2 more points a turn right now, and he's going to help me get these territories. So yes, I'm going to lose the trade routes agreement unless Cruel reveals a colony, but I should have some cards lying around to use Cook's ability, and even if not, then he's going to be some points. The sad news is that if I do get Cook, I can't get Wave of Nationalism, which is a bit painful. So what to do with the rest of my actions? So the greedy route would be to pick up frugality, let's say, and upgrade one of these farms. And this means that next turn I'm going to have seven food, and I can frugality and then increase population. And I'm going to have two meeples here. And if I do that, actually, I don't even need to upgrade this farm, although I don't really have anything else to do with the action, so I might as well. Does that mean I don't even need to pick up frugality, though? No, because 7 is not going to be enough. I'm going to lose these two tokens, so I'm going to need 8. So that's the greedy route. And the reason that might be problematic is that I'm going to have two cards in hand, and Cruel can just attack me again. Now, he didn't have a follow-up, I think, because he did not push on military even further, but he drew two more cards, so he might have a follow-up after all. He might not attack me, but uh, but on the other hand, maybe he will. Henry Merivale has 6 cards. Pink Ranger has 4 cards. I'm going to have 2. So I think I'm going to take a more conservative path where I increase population and build another cannon. And this puts me at 17 military, which is quite nice. I cannot be attacked by anyone for the first time in a long while. I'm not going to be affected by any of these events, and in fact, if Cold War is in the deck, I will benefit from it, which would be quite phenomenal. Bad news is that I'm not drawing a card, so I'm going to be at 1 card, and that's going to make Cook not as beneficial. And then what do I do with my last action? Honestly, picking up Frugality, pretty pointless if I increase my population. These 2 tokens are going to go away. I need 2 food to use this, and then another food to get another pop. So I think I'm going to gamble on Inhabited Territory for my last 2 populations. I could pick Constitutional Monarchy, and I'm wondering if I should do that. I'm going to lose Theocracy and Knights, and I could see a situation where, let's say, I win the Inhabited Territory, and then I can revolt into Constitutional Monarchy and build something. And honestly, at this point, a revolt won't be too painful. I have extra blue tokens from Wealthy Territory, I have the iron, so I can stomach 2 turns of production with no corruption. So this means that maybe not the following turn, the turn after that, I might revolt. So I think it's worth picking up Constitutional Monarchy for that eventuality. It is a bit risky because I'm going to lose 2 cards, but I'm still going to have 4 cards in hand, making me not as flexible as I would want. With that said, this game has been pretty cutthroat on the card draw, especially on the yellows, so I don't see myself picking up more than 1 card. I mean, by my next turn, I am doubtful both Wave of Nationalism and Reserves are going to be down here. So maybe one of them is going to be here. Even that is unlikely. So yeah. So let's see what happens next. I think that at least as points are concerned, I'm in a reasonable spot. Infrastructure, I have none. I have iron. With that said, nobody has much. I mean, Crew has 2 alchemies. Henry Merivale has some science and a drama, which is a bit confusing. Pink Ranger has 2 theologies and 2 scientific methods, so he's the only one with any infrastructure here. No one is in a position to make a huge military jump. So yeah, so maybe I really hope that this setup can nail me. I think I should be safe for 3rd place unless something horrible happens, and I hope that this setup nails me at 2nd place. Let's see what happens next. So we're gonna end the turn. And the last 3 cards of H2 are Urban Growth and Engineering Genius and Patriotism. So this is nice. I'll be happy to get any of these. So if next turn I somehow nab 2 yellow cards, I would be pretty happy. If by some force of chance the other 3 players play 2 events and I end up with something crazy like Cold War, that would be phenomenal.